Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective, talking about Season 7, Episode 8. Blue. Dabba dee dabba 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 dee dabba da dabba dee babba da dabba dee dabba da. If I were green, I would die. Blue da. Okay. People, imagine there's casuals just having to catch a random video of mine. There's something wrong with this guy. Yes. Histamine. Did you hear that? Hold on. One more. Histamine. Last time also spit at me. So Blue. This is the episode I thought that Lara was. This episode's better in my opinion, but we'll get there. So Clark. Wouldn't you know it? Kara is finally back. That's right, from her trip. She went to Coast City with Jimmy. Yeah, they went surfing. Somehow, I don't picture Jimmy Olsen surfing, but no spoilers. We'll get to it. Season 8 finale. We'll talk about that when we get there next season. Whenever I do that, sometime later this year. So, my goal is to possibly, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going by any what they're doing, I want to finish the rest of this. There's 4 seasons left. 3 after this. I just want to finish them. Which it means, like, not going by what they're doing, so I'm already behind them anyway. Kara's back, and Clark's a little down, and it seems like it's about Lana, because she's like, where's Lana? She said, she's in Metropolis with her Aunt Nell. She said, what's wrong? Is that I miss my mother or something like that. And she's like, I'll tell you everything you need to know in the morning. And I'm just like, well, that's mean. He wants to know about his mom. I want to go sleep first. Then I'll tell you. I know it's late, but still. That night, he hears the crystal yelling for him. I fixed it. For him. Help me. Save me, Kal-El. I don't have much time. Okay. And I already called bullshit. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen these. I'm like, there's no expiry date on this. Why is it? He takes it to the fortress. Even though Jor-El says, do not do it, Kal-El. He does it anyway. And frees his mom. We also see it frees Jor-El. He's hiding behind a crystal that is see-through, so they should be able to see him, but they don't, because reasons. Also, the all-knowing Jor-El doesn't see him either. He can't sense his presence. Oh, and by the way, I call bullshit. Why doesn't Jor-El speak once when they're in the fortress during this? There's a point towards the end of the episode. Like, there's the whole climax is in the fortress. Not once does Jor-El say a word to his brother. And they don't explain, like, when he put the crystal in, it deactivated him. They don't explain that. It just doesn't talk. Yes. So, he brings her back to the house, and I'm really confused by the way that the Kara is, and Lara! And just hugging her, and she's like, wait. Like, they explain, you must have came from my crystal. And then she looks at Clark, like, no, you got it reversed. You should. As soon as they walk in, she's like, and Laura, and be like, wait a minute. Only way you could have brought her back was with my crystal. And then it's like, that means my father is also free. So there is some inconsistency in the writing here, because when she first wakes up, she looks at Clark and goes, Jor-El, because we know that Jor-El is like, so they know it's Kal-El. She should know who that is, because and later she says that the last thing she remembers is Krypton crumbling around her. But she didn't remember that either. Because as it was explained in the flashback, Zor-El took her DNA before she knew she was pregnant. And before they came up, at least before they came up with the name. Which means that she should be pregnant here, which is before she got pregnant. And before she knew the name Kal-El, and before Krypton was destroyed. Therefore, she shouldn't have any of those memories. It should be the memory from the DNA from the time where he took the DNA. Right? But that would also mean that Zor-El wouldn't know his master plan. Because he came up with it after he took the DNA. So I can see how that's, a little bit of a plot hole if you do it that way, but it's still followed this way. Whatever. That Zor-El is going to come for him. Meanwhile, things are getting hot and spicy between Lois and Mr. Grant Gabriel. Yes, hot and steamy. As Chloe walks in on them. Well, sort of walks. She hears and she knocks on the door. No one says anything. She kind of peeps in and sees them making out on the desk. And is immediately pissed off. And I'm like, why? It's none of your business. There's two adults in a relationship, right? But to be fair, she does explain that, while she believes that Lois isn't doing this to further her career, everyone else won't see it that way. They'll see her sleeping with her boss to get ahead. And we also see it's revealed that it is Lex that he was talking to on the phone because they are hanging out in Blank Bull at the Lex mansion. Because apparently he helped Grant get that job. And he lets out the line, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. Which speaks volumes when you know the truth. But, yeah. And he questions Grant's relationship with Lois Lane, knowing that Lois is a sleuth, and will immediately try to figure out everything about Grant. He doesn't want her to link them together. So, we also find out that he is bugging Grant's office, which he confronts about him at the end. We'll get there. There yet. Lara gifts Clark a ring with a blue crystal in it. And he puts it on. They take Lara to Oliver Queen's loft because they still have the set. So, minor spoiler alert. Oliver is coming back for an episode this season, and he'll be back next season. Very importantly, next season, but he's coming back for an episode this season, very soon, I think. But so they take her there, and then Zor-El appears to Kara and pleads with her, and somehow she just folds to her father. And so he shows up and he beats the hell out of Clark because it turns out that ring, the blue kryptonite, is what it is, blue meteorite, blue kryptonite. It takes away powers, only temporarily as you're wearing it though. There's a different kind of kryptonite for taking it away permanently. We'll get to that later. But here, and for some reason that's never explained, he can't take the ring off. And he tries. At one point he tries using a power saw to take it off and nothing. It's never explained why he can't do it. And it's not the blue kryptonite because we see in later episodes that you could, whatever has a blue kryptonite, you can take off. So it's not, I guess Zor-El must have set up the ring or something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah, it beats out of him. There's a scene where you think he's going to throw the car at him, but he just kind of pushes it out of his way. I'm like, what was that? What is the VFX for? Zor-El arrives to take Lara and Kara away. Or Lara away. Lana gets knocked off for the 417th time in this show. Or knocked out, not knocked off. She didn't die. Knocked out for the 475th time in this show. And at this point, it's like, because before she get knocked out, so she didn't know about the powers. She knows about the powers, so why is this woman still getting knocked in the head? I mean, come on. Knocked in the noggin. Come on. It makes, come on, stop knocking this poor woman out. She's not important to the plot anyway. I do like how Chloe brings up her Yaris again. She says, my Yaris won't get us to the Arctic. He goes, what about my barn? And that's where he goes to stick out the thing. Meanwhile, Zor-El uses his machine to create an eclipse over the sun. And I love how Chloe just takes out her phone and it immediately pops up to the weather report. It's going to be sunny days. The weather's not reporting it. How the hell on a flip phone can you get that kind of a screen in 2007? And as you get close to the end, it becomes painfully obvious this is the mid-season finale. They do that. They hire the stakes as the mid-season finale. So yeah. So before I get on to the big finale here, I forgot to... So I mentioned that Christopher Heyerdahl plays Zor-El, but I forgot to mention the casting of Lara. She is played by Helen Slater. That's right, the original Supergirl, which I have a review for. It's a weird movie, and it also stars Hart Bachner. He hates when I do that. Hart Bachner. It's a weird movie. It also has the Marriage guy from Spaceballs. But anyway, Marriage. So Zor-El blocks out the sun, and he says he's going to create a new Krypton by killing out the humans. And he's like, I promise I will bring Kal-El. By the way, Kara says her Kal-El. It's Kal-El, not Kal-El. She says it's so weird. Maybe it's a Canadian accent. No, Kal-El. You can't hurt Kal-El. She goes to take the crystal out that he plunged in there, and that's in there. And he's like, only Kal-El could take it out. That is bullshit writing. Only Kal-El could take it out. You didn't know who Kal-El was when you designed the crystal. How could you put that in there? You didn't know she was pregnant when you put the DNA in the crystal. How could you have known to design the crystal to do that? All the writing. Oh. Clark arrives, still without powers, and like I said, at no point does Zor-El you cannot do this. Nothing, nada. Bob Kiss here. Bob Kiss. Nothing. Eventually, Lara tells him that he has to destroy the crystal. He pulls it out. You have to destroy it. No, he said it could destroy you. No, it will destroy her. But he has to. So he does, and they both go away. And so does Kara. For no reason. It's not explained. Because even when he confronts Jor-El, who now can talk later, he's like, that was no doing of my own. I believe Zor-El only has the answers. I'm like, but why would it? Because Zor-El was holding her. But she's not gone or in some dimension or anything. We see that she's in Detroit, Michigan, and has amnesia. Because the writers need to get rid of her for a few episodes because they don't know what to do with her after this. Painfully obvious they didn't know what to do with her for most of this season. They brought her in. She was in 3 episodes, and then she was gone. And then she's back for this, and then she's gone. And then she's back for the finale, and then she's gone. Or not the finale, but for like the last few episodes. They had no clue how to write for this character. We want Supergirl to be in this season. What's she gonna do? Ooh, we have a plot line with her dad. Cool, what else? So, Lois and Grant have a mutual breakup, but they no, because they still suck in face. But it appears as if this relationship is still not going to work because I guess he's doing it to save face, but he gives someone else a story on the eclipse. Not Lois, but then he sends like a privy text to her, like you have a nice ass or whatever he says. I don't know what he's like. I couldn't read it. Something about You look beautiful today or something. Then he goes to confront Lex, and we get a bombshell reveal. Yes, he confronts Lex about spying on him, and it's revealed that he is not Grant Gabriel. No, that is a cover name. It's revealed that he is actually Julian Luther. Say it like Timmy Oliphant. Lex's brother. Yes, if you remember, Julian Luther was the baby who was accidentally smothered. I can't remember. Lex said he did it, but the mom did it. I don't remember. Well, he died. But now, Lex is claiming that that Lionel put him up for adoption after finding out that Lillian was sick and cast him out. Why? Because he couldn't take care of 2 kids? I don't know. That's his story. But I want to remind you what Lex's current projects have been about. Just kind of put that in your head. What was he doing? How did Lana survive the explosion? What was Lex working on at the dam? Just put that in your head and think about it a little bit, okay? Yeah. So, yes, this is Julian, and that's why he doesn't want Lois snooping around, because to find out that the truth, because he doesn't want Lionel to find out, because Lionel ain't stupid, and he's gonna know the truth. So, yes. And then we have one last scene with Lana and Clark, and they hug. And to be honest, I wasn't paying attention to the last scene. I'm just so sick of every episode gotta end with Clark and Lana talking about something. It's just, I can't wait for her to go away. I really can't. I've gone numb to these scenes. Blah blah, I love you. Blah 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 blah. I mentioned she was knocked on her ass, but I forgot to mention why she was there. She was watching Laura and was bringing her tea. I don't think Laura would know what tea is on Earth, but okay. But yeah. I also remember being very frustrated the first time I watched this. Being like, what's the point of bringing Laura back if she's not going to stay? Like, I understand now it's a guest star thing. She's not recurring or anything. It's a guest star, sure. But like, back then, from my point of view, was like, well, you brought her back. You did all this, and she's got to go again, I guess. Also, I was quick to notice that Clark is so quick to call Lara my mother, but refuses to call Jor-El his father. He calls her Mom, but then keeps calling him Jor-El. A little bias. A little bit, Joy. A little bit. Yeah, it's a good episode. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I thought the last episode was a little bit better, but this is still good. I think we're getting steady. The writing was a little off, too. That's why it's missing a 0.5, but still solid, I think. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave me a comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.